Hey everybody, Some Gadget Guy here with another headphone review. This one focused a little bit more towards you lifestyle, fitness, activity folks. Because this video, we're taking a look at the AfterShokz Bluez 2 bone conduction headphones. And of course, we don't do unboxings here, because we want to talk about the headphones. Now, if you've been following my channel, the AfterShokz Sportz M2 bone conduction headphones were one of the first reviews that I did here on Some Gadget Guy. And I maybe got a little soapboxy about health and fitness and safety, so I'll save a bit more of that rant towards the end of this video. Suffice it to say, the Bluez 2 are an updated version of that bone conduction design and feature Bluetooth wireless audio. To get the sciencey stuff out of the way first, these headphones don't work like conventional headphones or earbuds. Traditional headphones and earbuds work by either covering the ear or inserting something into the ear to force acoustic pressure into your tympanic membrane, which then creates an auditory signal which is fed into your brain. AfterShokz technology, on the other hand, works by vibrating the soft tissue and bone material of your skull to feed audio information into your brain without blocking or covering your ears. It's a fascinating experience as you're able to consume music and phone calls and still hear everything happening around you. So to show you how these things are supposed to be worn, you'll see once you put them on, they're designed to rest just in front of your ears. They sit right here on your cheekbones. Just walking around the Bluez 2, they're a pretty standard setup for any type of Bluetooth headphone or headset. Behind the right ear, we've got a power button, a port cover for a micro USB charger, and a volume rocker. And on the left earpiece, we've got a little activation button which can be used to answer and hang up phone calls or initiate some sort of voice dialing activity if your phone supports that. And as you may have noticed, as I've been moving these things around, there is an additional little rubber strap on the back of the neck piece. This helps give the Bluez 2 a slightly snugger fit. Really handy for those times that I've been out jogging with these things. And if this fits a little too tight on your skull, this strap is removable. But I'm gonna leave this on because it actually fits my head better. Now, I was a big fan of the AfterShokz M2, but there were some issues with that second generation of bone conduction headphones. Everything that bothered me about the M2 has been addressed, if not completely fixed, in the Bluez 2. The redesigned arms on each of these earpieces not only help the fit, these things do fit a little snugger on my head, they don't wobble around quite as much as the M2 did, but the angles that they come in at make it easier to wear these headphones with sunglasses. The curvier arms on the M2 actually made this a little trickier depending on what type of sunglasses you like to wear. And audio quality has been addressed as well. They've completely redesigned the shielding and the way that these pads interact with your skull. The M2 kind of had an AM radio quality to them, while the Bluez 2 move us into the delicious territory of FM radio. See, that's one of the trade-offs of bone conduction technology. Your skull really wasn't designed to absorb audio. Your ears were designed to absorb audio, but these Bluez 2 do a remarkably good job of moving audio into your brain. And considering their application is a little bit more fitness and health focused, those times where you're gonna be sound tracking an activity as opposed to sitting down and having an audiophile listening experience, I feel that's a totally appropriate compromise to make. The Bluez 2 have really managed to cut back on that vibrating your skull feel when listening at louder volumes. Though the one thing they don't do very well is transmit bass information. They're much improved over previous bone conduction headsets that I've used in the past, but we're still sort of running into the limitations of our own biology and how low frequency information is actually absorbed into your skull. When you think about it, our head actually does a pretty good job of dampening forces so that things like our eyeballs aren't constantly jiggling around. But the improvements to these ear pads have noticeably improved mid-frequency and high-frequency sound. And that also means they've been terrific for listening to podcasts and taking phone calls. The noise reduction mics on board do an excellent job of translating your voice into a phone call. And really, I've only had complaints on these when I've been in the windiest of conditions that I don't think any headphones would have compensated for very well. But just about the only drawback you might face while taking a phone call on these things is that your ears are actually still free and open. So part of my jog was running over a freeway overpass and I took a call right at that time, and it was really hard for me to not be distracted by the surrounding environmental noise while I had a phone call going into my head. But because the audio information is being transferred through the soft tissue of your skull, I was able to block up my ears. I just stuck my fingers in my ears for a while to block out the environmental noise for a bit. I finished up my phone call, and then I went back to listening to music, just sort of soundtracking all around me. And that could be really exciting for folks who work in really challenging environments, job site, construction work. You can fit yourself with really high quality hearing protection, earplugs or those big clunky headphone style solutions, and not have to swap to a pair of headphones or something that might damage your hearing when you want to take a phone call. Which brings me to my next improvement, in that these things broadcast far less. Now, the M2s had a problem where these are vibrating pads. That's how you create sound. It's vibrations in air. So you need more vibrations to get sound through your skull than when you put something directly on top of your ear. However, there wasn't much shielding on the M2, so the louder you listened to music or the louder you took a phone call in the M2s, not only would the sound go into your skull, it would also come out of the ear pad and everyone around you could kind of hear what you were doing. Now, I don't know what kind of voodoo they do, but the Bluez 2s remarkably cut back on that amount of leakage. AfterShokz claims 6 hours of music and phone call activity. Now, for something this large, you have to understand there's a lot more force required to vibrate these pads as opposed to the drivers that you might find in a pair of headphones. Using these for a whole day to take some phone calls, listen to some music, I probably got a little over 5 hours of listening time before I got a low battery warning. That brings us to price. The Bluez 2s retail for $99.99. That's often the street price you can find them for online, which I think is right in line with the novel listening experience that you're going to have using these headphones. I mean, there's just really nothing else like them out on the market right now, especially nothing as refined as these are AfterShokz's 3rd generation of bone conduction headphones. They're just these wonderful health and safety aspects to having your ears free while still being able to receive audio notifications from your phone calls, and being able to listen to music. If you're listening on earbuds that don't go inside your ear canal, you're often listening to music and movies at a louder volume than you need to overcome noise. So then we get all caught up in noise reduction technologies to solve that problem, either having fancy microphone arrays that sample audio and then cut noise, or just blocking up the ear canal with spongy or rubbery earplugs. And the amount of time that we can spend forcing audio into our ear canal can actually have a pretty destructive effect on our listening. We're raising entire generations of people who are going to have hearing problems earlier in life. I have really enjoyed my time with the Bluez 2s. This is a phenomenal update to a pair of headphones I already really enjoyed. It's been through technologies like bone conduction that have totally killed how I used to use earbuds for working out. And even when I just have these things on during the day, I don't feel it's critical to remove them immediately when I'm operating a motor vehicle. You know, like wearing traditional headphones while driving is a horrifically irresponsible thing to do. So folks, I hope you'll check out the work AfterShokz is doing. I think it's a really exciting conversation for health, safety, and fitness. And of course, I'll leave some links down below this video so that you can get more information on AfterShokz products and where you can shop them online. As always, folks, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to catch more videos and reviews like these, and I would not be able to continue producing these reviews if you all weren't out there sharing them with your family, friends, and on social media. So I can't thank you for bringing more cool people to the party. Hit that thumbs up button, and I will catch you all on the next review. I, for one, appreciate being able to hear that bus that's about to turn me into street pizza.